But he couldn't stop me from joining the Templars. I have to try to cleanse myself of their sin of the flesh. Because of him and my mother, my soul may already be condemned to hell. Only the balm of the Templars' faith can rid it of the mortal sin engraved upon it. On October 9th, Saint Denis Day, I finally discovered the traces of the head. Blessed by Saint Denis, he who smiles down on me in all his beatitude to help me leave my soul. Yes, Saint Denis is smiling on me. The head purifies me. As God is my witness, I, Simon le Bel, in this year of our Lord, 1305, shall enter the body of Pierre le Bel de Clemency tomorrow, June 24th, and shall retrieve what is mine by divine right. In this new body, purified of my soul and of my parents' carnal sin, death will no longer hold any mystery for me. The head of Baphomet has finally revealed all of its secrets. Victory! I would shout this divine miracle from the rooftops if I did not fear the unbelievers and their stake. I am in a new, younger, stronger body, and it is God's will. How else can I explain Adeline's appearance at my bedside? Blessed and cursed! God gave me a new body, but Adeline, my angel, who took care of this new body, is forbidden to me. It would seem she is the daughter of that idiot, Pierre. That's to say, my own daughter at present. I am weary of this existence. What is the point of living for centuries if I can never again glimpse the smile of my beloved Adeline? Ah, Adeline, you who are forbidden to me, will I ever see your sweet face again? I would gladly exchange these solitary centuries to see your face, your eyes, once more. She has returned. She is once more of this world, and so close to me. She visited Kaffner today. It really was her. That excellent doctor of the mind confirmed it. It is her, and this time she will be mine for the rest of my life.
Well, Miss Blake, it would seem you did not tell me everything. Right, that's all I needed. Blake's been abducted and the kidnapper takes himself for Dialpe. And naturally he wants the head in exchange. As if I knew where it was.
Hello, what number can I dial for you?
I'm sorry to disturb you, miss. Can you connect me to the post office, please? I'd like to send a telegram.
Right away, sir. Post a telegraph, go ahead, please.
This is urgent. A telegram for J. Wells, Pinkerton Agency, New York. Take this down. Seek information on a couple. Faye and Jerome Johnson. Stop. Americans. Stop.
I've made a note of it. Finished, sir? Goodbye.
I do not want to be mixed up in all this. No thanks, it's not for me. Way too complicated.
Ah, Mr. McPherson, I was just thinking about you. Good to see you again. Have you brought me any more culprits?
We've been barking up the wrong tree from the start, Inspector. The whites never were the whites.
The whites were not the whites? McPherson, what are you talking about?
Ruby and Regis are not the real names of the Orphée victims. I have in my possession a ring that clearly indicates the woman's name was Faye.
That does not prove anything, McPherson. What about all the sweet talk, huh? Faye and Ferry. Of course. Why complicate things to my Ferry with love?
A letter. A letter signed Sophia Blake confirms that they were hired to commit a robbery. The letter is addressed to Faye and Jerome Johnson, Inspector.
Thieves? What did they steal then, McPherson? We did not find anything in their room, and moreover, no one has brought up charges. Explain that.
They robbed Grégoire d'Alpin. The plan was orchestrated by the same woman who hired me, Sophia Blake. This is a major con trick, Inspector.
De Alpin? Grégoire de Alpin, the banker? McPherson, I assure you that a man as important as Grégoire de Alpin would have called on the police to solve this case. He has the means, believe me.
D'Alpin. D'Alpin is dead. He's been dead for over a week.
What are you talking about? If anything happens to Mr. d'Alpin, I assure you heads will roll.
D'Alpin looks to have died peacefully of old age. Nothing like the other murders. I have a photo here. See for yourself.
Even if Mr. d'Alpin had died of natural causes, it would not prove Elouin's innocence, McPherson. Quite the contrary.
If d'Alpin has been dead for over a week, he couldn't have hired Elouin to investigate. Do you not see, Inspector? Somebody else hired Elouin.
And I suppose you are going to tell me who this mysterious person is, Mr. McPherson.
If you have any doubts about d'Alpin's involvement, I have something that will convince you, Inspector. A glass vial, taken from his home, identical to the one found broken in the White's room.
McPherson, Grégoire d'Alpin is surely not the only man in the world to own such a vial. It proves nothing.
One gold, one brass. One at d'Alpin's, the other at Kaufner's. 2 ancient coins. These prove that both men were involved in the murders.
Everyone has the right to collect ancient coins. Anyway, what has Dr. Kaufner to do with all this?
Inspector Lebrun, what I have shown you is irrefutable proof of Elouin's innocence. I found the knife used to cut off the victims' heads.
The murder weapon must be a knife of extreme precision, medical precision, with an incredibly sharp blade. Show me what you have, McPherson.
This is the murder weapon, just as I found it at Grégoire d'Alpin's home.
Thank you, McPherson.
Stop protecting d'Alpin. He's the only man in Paris who can obtain these vials, the only one capable of putting this gas inside them, the purple gas he uses to put his victims to sleep.
Leave the vial with me. I will have it examined.
Here you are.
Thank you, McPherson.
It's strange, but it's true. Doubtless d'Alpin preferred to sort this business out in the greatest secrecy. Just ask Elouin. He's the one who investigated it.
I would have to check with Monsieur d'Alpin. I can't tell you more, McPherson.
That is too much. Will you never face up to the facts? You know as well as I do that coins like these were found on all the victims.
How do you know about the coins?
A couple of anonymous sources are enough to keep me abreast.
Beauvais will get an earful about this. Leave the coins with me. They are evidence.
With this, you can start investigating the true motives behind the murders.
Thank you, McPherson.
I hope these clues will enable us to prove that Elouin is innocent.
I will speak with Elouin, and we shall see. If I understand correctly, the Whites were not the Whites, but the Eatons, who are in fact the Johnsons. A couple of professional con artists hired to retrieve a relic at the Alpins by Sophia Blake. Also your employer, Mr. McPherson. Yet according to this note, Sophia Blake is currently being held hostage by Mr. d'Alpin. Would it be the same d'Alpin we see dead in these photos? Do you understand anything?
It's just that...
That is to say that you and me are going to have a little chat to set this story straight from the beginning.
Lebrun, aren't you tired of making people believe this story? The evidence is there, on the table.
Sir, I advise you to go back to your paintbrushes and leave the authorities to do their job. Now, if you will excuse us...
May I retrieve my documents?
Consider these documents as facts, Mr. McPherson, and without facts, there is no proof.
Yes, and there's the proof of my innocence, Lebrun.
We shall see about that, Elouin. We shall see. Mr. McPherson, goodbye.
Poor Eloy. I did what I could for him. The only thing I've got left now is my conscience. Me, Blake, and my conscience.
McPherson. Max, something awful's happened. Hulot is dead. He's been murdered.
Hulot dead, and the soul of the Alembic gone with him. We've all lost a great friend, Berenice. Keep your chin up, baby. Don't let them get you down. There's still the Alembic.
Hulot started from nothing. He worked as a construction worker on the metro before becoming a very important patron of the arts. You know, a big shot.
Yes, it's true. A great patron to the artists, and a sponsor to you, to me, to the others. He took me under his wing as soon as I got to Paris. A generous man, even if he never wanted to exhibit me.
Hulot always had a solution for everything. Like he said, every man has at least one quality. There were those he exhibited, and then there were the others. A real little hive of activity behind Hulot. Painters, sculptors, writers, intellectuals. In any case, Mac, nobody in Paris knows anything about art, but they all want a picture on their walls. And they're willing to pay a small fortune.
But Berenice, doing those little favors could have sometimes made crooks out of us. Everyone knew Albert was a fence.
Hulot saw himself as the Robin Hood of the art world. He got money out of the rich for the art of the poor. He may have been a fence, but he had ideas.
I feel as bad as you do, Berenice. Anyone who comes to the Alembic will be grieving. The place will be a shrine to him. Everyone who comes in will be reminded of Albert Hulot. So many stories.
You know how much Hulot loved his entourage. Everybody had a chance. The Alembic was his masterpiece. Take this fresco, for example. You know how many artists contributed? Hulot would ask them to paint a bit, sometimes just a brushstroke. Over the years, it became his treasure.
It's true. That fresco is rather special. Did he tell you what it is meant to represent?
He used to sit and stare at the fresco at night. Honestly, Mac, it kept the secrets of his soul.
Berenice, Hulot is dead. We have to be careful, too. Was it the police who told you? They have a suspect. They're already holding Helouin.
The pigs? They're all the same. The investigation is taking its course, miss. Like hell. Everything I know I got from my contacts.
Berenice, we have to get to the bottom of this before everyone else dies. Do you know who is heading the inquiry?
Inspector Lebrun, always spotless, the perfect bourgeois. They're putting on an act in an attempt to hoodwink us. In fact, Mac, they haven't got anything to go on. Hulot, you, me, Helouin, for them we're all nobodies. It's up to us to unravel this.
My God, Berenice. Why him? Why Hulot? When did this happen? And you, Bebe, are you okay?
The cops discovered his body at sunrise, but he may have been dead for a couple of days. I have no idea. No idea.
It's awful. Hulot was not supposed to die. He could not die. He was the last person to see the whites alive. The police. Did the police tell you how it happened?
I don't know how to describe it. It is so sordid. His head, Mac, his head was cut off. His body was hanging on the front of the car, and his head was sitting on the hood like a figurehead. Worst of all, in his mouth. The police found a coin in his mouth.
Berenice, relationships like that only bring trouble, either with fences or with the police.
Of course, Mac. I worked for Hulot. We all have to live, you know. And sculpture doesn't exactly pay a girl's rent.
You say you've copied works of art for Hulot? Has he commissioned any work recently?
Strangely enough, yes. The day you came to the Alembic, the first time, I gave him a copy of a grotesque bust.
My God. Berenice, the bust. The bust you sculpted for Hulot. Did it look like what you see in the sketch?
It is exactly the same. Hulot asked me to make a copy. I gave it to him the night you came. Mac, I'm scared. What's going on?
It's awful. I have to find this head before there are any more deaths. Even your life is at risk, Berenice. The killer is after this head. Don't you see, Bebe? I have to find out how Hulot got his hands on this accursed object.
I have no idea who gave the head to Hulot. I made a copy, that's all.
I'm not sure I've grasped the magnitude of this business. But one thing's for sure. You are not safe, Berenice. Be careful. I will do everything in my power to put a stop to these crimes. Everything.
Find the killer for me, Mac. I will manage on my own.
Hulot, what was the secret you had hidden right under our noses all the time? Hulot, what was the secret you had hidden right under our noses all the time?